All right, what is up, everyone? My name is Chris. Today, I'm going to be bringing you guys another Flyers game review. Now, I brought back who's person I work for, Jamey Baskow. He brought me on not that long ago to work to actually write for Flyers Nitty Gritty. So, Jamey, I thank you for that. I also thank you for coming on for this video. So, Jamey, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Proud to be on for your following. You got a pretty strong following and you do good work. And I know we're glad to have you at flyersnittygritty.com, and I'm sure DP4 is too to have you. You're a legend.
Thank you, Jamey. I appreciate it. Sadly, this Flyers game didn't actually work out in our favor, as the Flyers lose 2-0 to the Boston Bruins in a very frustrating game. And I don't really look at it as a bad loss. I think the Flyers actually played a really good game. But to start off with this game, there was the whole Myers injury, so that came out a couple hours before the game, and that kind of threw everything, out of sorts. Then there was, Gostisbehere being put in the lineup, Myers being the game time decision that he's injured, so Ghost is in. Ghost ended up playing with Robert Hagg. I thought he had a pretty good game. I thought he was actually really good tonight. I think he stood out really well. I think he made some good plays, and he looked like that old Shane Gostisbehere that we saw from years prior. Not even like last season or the year before that, like that his rookie season, Shane Gosper. That's really what I thought that stuck out tonight for the Flyers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think Ghost is one of our better players tonight. Of course, you could factor in Pro V Niski. I think Niski had a really good play in the second period to save the goal. Ghost made a key save in the third period there, but I think overall, I think he was one of our stronger players tonight. Along with, I think Carter Hart had a strong game tonight, even though he was, on the losing side of the, losing side there. But
Mm-hmm.
no one else like really stuck out.
Right.
Stood out. And I think that was because it was a team game against the Boston Bruins, and that they were going to go in there and they'd have to win with a team effort. It wasn't just going to, and that's the way the Flyers have been, throughout the course of the season, right? I mean, there's one game this third line's on fire, then the next game the second line's on fire, so
Mm-hmm.
like it goes vice versa. And tonight, I mean, Kevin Hayes, botched a chance. I think it was what in the second period he had a slam dunk open
Yeah, it was
netter.
him and Lawton with a 2-on-1, and then it led to the
Well,
Bruins
no,
goal.
no, that was a different sequence there. So like I don't know if it was before the 2-on-1 or after the 2-on-1.
Oh
But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah. I know what
that
you meant. Yeah,
he
I know what you
missed
mean.
it. Lawton, when he came down on a breakaway, I'm going to be honest, and I love Lawton, and he's one of the hardest working Flyers, and he's a
Yeah,
class act, and he's been on fire as of late. He has
yeah.
3 goals and 6 assists in 8 games now. He could have had another tonight if he would have shot it, as opposed to
Hmm.
passing to a Kevin Hayes who was covered.
Right.
And I don't know who the defenseman was that broke up that play.
It was actually Charlie Coyle who broke it because it was on the. It was shorthanded. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was just amazed that Lawton didn't shoot the puck there. Not
Yeah,
saying
I
he would have,
was too.
but the way Rask was playing, there's no
Right.
telling if he was scored or not. But sometimes that leads to juicy rebounds, and Kevin Hayes coming down on the flank there, could
Hmm.
have maybe potted a goal.
Right.
But Rask was dialed in. Rask is the reason why the Boston Bruins won 2-0, and reason why the Boston Bruins won in general. At
Right.
the end of the first period, I thought that the Flyers could have been up 3-0.
Right.
That's how good that they were
It
playing.
was yeah, it was crazy in the first period. They had way too many chances. I mean,
Yeah,
they were all over it. Konechny had that really nice chance as well.
Coots. Coots had a
Yeah,
really good
right.
where Rask, I think he was trying to go 5-hole, and
Hmm.
really good save by. The Flyers hit a few posts tonight. I think
Hmm.
that overall, and I saw it based on, I think they were trying to be too cute because of how Rask was playing.
Yeah, they
And
were trying to get the perfect shot.
that's, yeah, they
Right.
weren't trying to, it wasn't the dirty goals that we've seen over the course of the past previous 9 games.
Hmm.
That the Flyers have been hot. They were just like, and sometimes it happens when you run into a very good goaltender like Tuukka Rask.
Right.
50th shutout on
Yeah.
his 33rd birthday, it was, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 50th shutout on 33rd birthday. Yeah.
the dude, he was lights out, and that was one of the reasons why they were trying to be too cute.
Hmm.
But overall, I like the Flyers game tonight. There's no reason why Flyers fans should be mad. As a
No.
matter of fact, they should be happy. They
Yeah.
played the best team in hockey, and if it wasn't for Tuukka Rask, they would have won possibly 5 or even 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
that's how good I thought that the Flyers played tonight.
Right.
They came out stepping their step in the first period. They looked
Mm-hmm.
motivated. They were making crisp passes, and the passes were there pretty much all game. They were making crisp passes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was that they were looking for that perfect shot, and on the power play, it was definitely evident that they were looking for that perfect shot. The
Right.
power
Right.
play had puck movement, but they didn't generate, offense. They
Right.
didn't generate shots, and the
Mm-hmm.
shots that they took, missed the net, a little
Right.
bit. So,
And like every time they would shoot, it would kind of be just like one of those forced shots just to try to get it on net.
yep. Four
Yeah.
shots by the defenseman, either it'd be Provy or even on the second power play unit in Ghost, and
Right.
and to me it's hard to say because the Bruins are so good, and they're a very good team, and it's hard to say because of how Tuukka Rask was playing tonight if that factored into the Flyers decision making on the power play and stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't really ridicule the power play, even though what they go
No.
0 for 3, 0 for 2, or something
Yeah,
like
they
that.
were. Yeah, power play was 0 for 3. Boston was 1 for 3.
So I mean, I can't. I'm not going to ridicule anybody
Right.
tonight.
Yeah. And just like you said, like I thought the Flyers played a really good game as for all three periods. Honestly, it, to me, it was kind of funny because I liked how they played in the first period where they, as you said, they had that good start. They really started to generate pressure, and they were just getting the puck out so quick at the blue line. And then they had like a couple turnovers here and there, but nothing really dangerous. Ended the first period scoreless. They did, as you said, and they had the two power plays. They couldn't really get much going on those, but those power plays were kind of like a little too much passing, where it was like they would try to pass, but it would just be like it was really like just like you said, they were just kind of forcing everything, and they just wanted the perfect play every time. And especially as you said, like when they go through like with a hot goaltender like that, you want to make sure that you get the perfect play. And not even just like the perfect play on the power play. That was all night. I mean, the Flyers, they had their chances, and really in the second period they were flying through the game. I mean, they were all over it early in the second period, and they just couldn't really get much going. I mean, they had their chances where. Uh, honestly, like to be specific, Provorov had a chance. Puck came out, it was rolling. He tried to score where like Rask came over and he kind of had to fight it off, and he was trying to go top corner. Like if that's Provorov, just aim low because there's at least three or four guys right there that are there for a rebound, and it looked like the Flyers were just trying for that perfect shot, like the really nice goal where it looked like there was no room possible for it, and it looked like it cost them. So going into later into the end of the second period, you're still scoreless, and then Justin Braun takes an quote unquote interference penalty, which I didn't necessarily like because I thought it was Bergeron took Braun down, and then they both wrestled, and they called it interference on Braun, and this is where the shorthanded chance comes up. So Lawton. He had a brief 2-on-0 with Hayes. Puck was rolling down the sideboards. He went to pass it when he should have shot it, and he passed it at the worst moment possible. Coyle tipped it wide on he broke up the 2-on-1, and the Bruins just basically just danced around the Flyers, moving the puck around wise, and Grizzly takes a one-timer from the point, and he beats Hart. And Hart had like three guys in front of him on this play. I didn't really blame Hart on any of the goals. As I said, like the first goal, he was completely screened. The second goal went off Sanheim's stick. The shot from Bergeron, which was still a really good shot, regardless, whatever it went off of. And that's a 2-0 game there. And I mean, it's crazy because they end the second period down 1-0 when really they should have been up like 3-1, 4-1. And honestly, if they don't take that penalty, or if that penalty is not called, it could be 3-0, 4-0 at that point. So I mean, to me, I'm not mad about this game at all. I thought the Flyers,
Oh,
like all good things come to an end, and especially when you win 9 straight. And it's like, if they win this game, they move into first. And then there's more pressure on it because Ghost is back in the lineup. And everyone's then talking about you know, how like they had that good start, and then how good Rask is playing. And then it all just kind of like, to me, it wasn't like I wasn't mad, but I was just a little frustrated because there were just some things that I think the Flyers could have done better, which they were able where it could have helped them later on in the game. But I mean, regardless, I thought they played a pretty good game. So to go in and do some regular stats, the shots were 36 to 29 in favor of the Flyers. Uh, Face-off percentage was 62% for the Flyers, 38%. They actually had a better game face-off percentage-wise against a really good face-off team in the Bruins. Power play was 0 for 3, and even still, the Bruins, they had I believe, a number 3 penalty kill. So, I mean, there really isn't a bad number with this Bruins team. And as I said earlier, Boston was 1 for 3 on the power play. Hits were 23-22 in favor of the Bruins. Blocks were 12-11 in favor of Boston, and giveaways were 15-12 in favor of the Flyers. As for the Corsi percentage, the Flyers, in the third period, they kind of shot themselves in the foot to actually win the Corsi percentage, even though they lost the game. They had a 56.52 in the first period to the Bruins, 48.48. And the second, it was 54.84 for the Flyers to the Bruins, 16. And the third period was 36.67 for the Flyers to the Bruins, 63.33. And then for the final, Flyers at a 48.81% to the Bruins, 51.19%. So that ends the game there. The Flyers, as we said, they end up losing this one. But to me, the Flyers, they go 9-1-0 in their last 10. So they're playing unbelievable hockey even still with the loss. I don't really see it as a bad loss. I think it's more of a frustrating loss, kind of like as a fan, I'd say you could be bummed because I was a little bit bummed because I was like, oh man, it kind of stinks seeing them lose that because they could have won 10 straight. They could have gotten to first place if they won this game. And also like the crowd and everything there tonight, it was a packed Wells Fargo Center. It would have been really nice to get some early goals and keep feeding on to Boston. And it also could have been the first sweep. And if they won that game tonight, would that have been the first sweep in franchise history over Boston?
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I think it was would have been the first sweep in franchise history. I just want to tell you, the Flyers are 19-5-2 in their last 27 games.
Yeah, right.
19-6-2. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
their last 27 games.
Right.
And you go back to Saturday's game against the Sabres. The Flyers shouldn't have won that game.
No, they shouldn't have.
Outplayed the Flyers.
Yeah.
And this is one of those games to where the Flyers outplayed the Bruins, but the Bruins won the game because of goaltending. And I think Carter Hart won us that game on Saturday anyway. And
yeah, he did.
Flyers to get the footing, And this was a same game that the Flyers played on Saturday, but the Flyers, were in favor on Saturday. The score finished in their favor. So, I mean, these type of games happen throughout the 82-game season.
Yeah.
On our 9-game winning streak, the Flyers did win a few games that they shouldn't have won.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But so I mean that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. There is absolutely, and I understand like you're saying you're a little frustrated because first place was on the line and this would have been the first sweep against the Bruins in franchise history. I get all that, but honestly, the Flyers played well against Juggernaut.
Yeah, again, and I didn't mean it to say like I was.
I know what you mean. I know. I'm not ridiculing you by any means. Mm-hmm. I just Flyers fans, we could be reactive at times, is what I mean. Like even though the 9-game winning streak happened, sometimes when you lose a game, it's like, oh, darn it, you put your head down. No, Flyers fans, keep your heads up. And they played the best team in hockey and should have won that game 6-2, but Tuukka Rask was there, and that's what happens. The goaltenders stole them the game tonight. Right. I think line for line, the Flyers did very well. It was evenly played.
That is a really good point. I think the lines were really matched up well, and especially because the way that Boston tried to switch up the lines, putting Pastrnak with Krejci throughout the second period, and then they ended up switching that back. But even still, like I thought that third line with Lawton, Derek Grant, I thought with Tyler Pitt, like I thought they all had a good game. I didn't think anyone had a bad game. I thought Nate Thompson had a bad game. Yeah, I think they all played very good.
Yeah, I think there wasn't, like I was saying, there wasn't one player, that stood out with the exceptions to me, were Ghost, Provy, Niski, and Hart, no one, really offensively because they all played evenly, I thought.
Right.
It wasn't that they played bad, that there was one player that had a bad game. I thought the whole team as a whole played pretty much evenly, except that Provy is just Provy. The guy is a beast. He'll block, anything. It doesn't matter. He's a human shield,
Right.
And
Right.
Niskanen is so darn good. He saved a goal, on the Bergeron could have potted a goal there. Towards the tail end of the second period, I think it was. I think there was like a minute in the second. Bergeron had a shot, Bergeron shot it, and then Marchand, he tied up Marchand because Marchand tried to go wide on Carter Hart there, and Ghost made a skate save tonight,
Right.
bailed out Carter in the third period there, so they could have won 3-0. But I mean, the Flyers played an evenly matched game against the Bruins.
They
The
did.
Bruins didn't stick out to me tonight.
No,
right?
I don't think they did either.
Goaltending did.
Yeah.
They just won the goaltending duel tonight, and that's what it came down.
Yeah, definitely, and definitely because they end the season series 2-1-0 against Boston. Really, in one of those games being they probably shouldn't have won since they ended up coming back, and then the whole thing with the Marchand and the shootout. But even still, at this point, you can't go back and change it. So the Flyers, they end the season series versus Boston 2-1-0, and they now look to face Tampa Bay on Thursday. So Jamey, now I don't know if you've ever listened to the podcast, but me and Amadeo, we try to do predictions after games. Now I'm horrible at predictions. And I wanted to see if you wanted to give a prediction for Thursday's game, depending on, it doesn't have to be score. You could say who you think's going to win or whatnot. But again, just wanted to see what you thought there.
Well, you know what? Tampa has owned the Flyers, for so many years.
Right.
It's just one of those teams that the Flyers, for whatever reason, struggle against. But both teams are offensively talented. Like you look at the scores, go back in history. It's like there's 9-8 games there. Score was 9-8. Another time it was 7-4. Like it was nuts. It was last year there was a score. I think it was 7-6. I think.
Yeah. Both of the games were 6-5, and both of them ended in overtime.
That's what.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Games. Because of the way the Flyers played tonight, I think they're going to go down to Tampa, and believe it or not, I think they're going to beat them. They have no Stamkos. Coming into this podcast, I thought that Tampa, the Flyers would lose. But you know what? After talking to you and doing this podcast, I have no reason to believe from tonight that the Flyers wouldn't go into Tampa and beat them on their home ice. And this is a great test for the Flyers. They're going in. These are the type of games. This is why the Flyers have a cushion, and it's nice to have that second place cushion. They're up by 3 points now because Penguins won, by the way. So they're no longer up by 5. Right. Penguins won tonight.
It's now up by 3, right?
Yeah, 3 points. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's still nice to have that cushion.
Right.
So I think that the Flyers are going to go down to Tampa, and I think they're going to beat them. But I think they'll win 5-4. I think it's going to be.
I really like that prediction. If I'm thinking prediction here with the score, I'm going to say Flyers 3-2.
Yeah, well, that's good too because the Moose has played well, and I think the Moose will get the start anyway. But
yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Thank you for saying that, though. I wanted to ask, since you basically already gave your answer, I was thinking they were actually going to start Hart, and my only reason is because you have Hart versus say they have, and not even just coming into tonight's game because I was looking at this on Monday. Say they have, and obviously they had Hart, so Hart versus Boston and Tampa Bay, right? Mm-hmm. Then you could do Elliott either against Minnesota or Edmonton, and I'd rather have Elliott versus Minnesota, to be honest with you, because I don't think Elliott would be. I don't know about Edmonton. I think Edmonton's more of a team that's we haven't really seen much of this season since one of the first 3 or 4 games of the year, so they've changed. So I'd rather have Hart in that game versus the Oilers. But if I'm the Flyers and if they do start Hart, I would say Hart on Thursday, Elliott versus Minnesota, and then Hart versus the Oilers. But again, I really wouldn't mind if Elliott played Tampa Bay as well. I mean, I don't really think it's a bad choice whatever happens.
I think the only reason I say Elliott is because in my Flyers mailbag this past week and in the previous week, those questions popped up. Elliott has to see rubber once every 7 days, in my opinion, just to keep track. Because you never, God forbid, know. if God forbid there's going to come an injury and you're going to have to rely on a Brian Elliott. So what are you going to do? Say something, God forbid, happens to Hart on Thursday. Elliott's coming in and he's not fresh, So, or, Saturday, vice versa,
Right.
I just think that he needs once every 7 or 8 days, the guy needs to see some rubber so he can stay fresh. And that's my only reasoning for him to start Thursday, because if you look at it, he started last Wednesday and won against the Washington Capitals 5-2.
Right.
So tomorrow is 7 days. If he doesn't play Tampa, that's 8, 9. He's going to go 10 days close to now we're talking about a week and a half without seeing some rubber. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
And you can only see so many pucks in practice.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, are the players? I mean, sometimes they shoot pretty hard and stuff like that. Like Nolan Patrick right now is shooting as hard as he can because he's not cleared for contact and he's not game action. So
right.
he's the very few that have a blistering shot at practice. And not saying that the Flyers don't try at practice, but they're not trying to have their players get hurt by any means either.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's not like they're playing in a game mode.
Right, exactly. So to me, you could only see so much rubber at practice, and that's my reasoning for starting Brian Elliott on Thursday against Tampa as opposed to Carter Hart. The logical choice is Carter Hart. That is very logical. And with whatever choice AV says, do I want him to start the Moose? No, I want AV to start who he wants to start, and not just for me to be right. Just because I have, this is my personal opinion, doesn't mean that I'm the coach by any means. AV knows his team better than anybody, so I trust him anyway.
All right, well, Jamey, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Guys, I just wanted to let you know, I've been promoting this in my recent videos. I actually have a promo code for this hoodie on eastphillydesigns.com. It is a very nice gritty hoodie here. They have this on a hoodie, and then they also have T-shirts as well. There's one in black. There's one in black, and there's one in orange. The hoodie is in all black. And then you can use my promo code on the website. I'll put a link to the website in the description. It's eastphillydesigns.com. You can use my promo code FFM93 for 10% off for anything you'd like on the store. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. My podcast, articles, those links are on my channel. Jamey, I wanted to thank you for coming on to tonight's video. I really did enjoy it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris. You take care and go Flyers. Let's go Flyers. Keep your heads up, Flyers fans. Everything's going to come, everything will be all right by Thursday. Trust me.
All right, Jamey. Thank you, man. And remember, guys, as I said, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.